hello everyone, and welcome to things just went a bit pear-shaped, as they do. It's Workshop Wednesday, and I'm joined tonight by Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
How is everybody?
So, if you're thinking this is a roadmap stream, it's not. It's Workshop Wednesday. It's because we updated the titles, and everything went a bit pear-shaped.
Well, wouldn't be a stream if it didn't have something going wrong. It gives me high hopes that there won't be coffee all over my laptop. You know that, and there's no coffee anywhere near my laptop. So
Oh, so yeah, we are on the recently released Midland Main Line.
ooh, I've seen this one. Yeah.
So good evening, driver. Please press T to open the doors and prepare for departure at 18:56. We will call at Long Eaton only en route to Derby. So I will admit I've used a little of Matt's tricks, and this is a 47 scenario, and I've just swapped it over so it's got the class 45 peak in it instead. There we go.
Don't peak too early.
How's the audio looking, guys? How are we all doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear Matt? That's the main thing.
I assume you can hear Jamie, but no more liquids allowed in Matt's garage. No, just not allowed to hold them over the top of the laptop. Really, is kind of the main thing. It's sort of like it's definitely got an air of duh about it. So it piques your interest, does it, Jack? Nice.
I chose the peak purely because I was like the peaks used to run on the Midland Main Line as far as I was aware. So
I tell you what, of all the trains that pique my interest, diesel do it.
dear oh dear.
165. Let's not peek over the engine. No.
Oh dear. Some nice first.
Turbo's got a bit lost. Yeah, probably has actually, hasn't it, Cameron? It's probably standing in for something else, isn't it? It is pun time, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, of course, it's pun time. I mean, he's driving a peak, which is basically the way of saying let's have a pun-filled stream.
No, yeah.
He may not have realised that when he chose a peak, but
right. So have we got the road now? We have got the road. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's get this started.
peak only when you're poken to. Very good, baby kid. Is this him turned around and going back the other way, going, no, going the wrong way? Or, oops, forgot my mask.
Yeah. As you've been in the
Maybe
cab.
Maybe the cross country 170. Yeah, it could well be Cameron actually. It makes sense because it's like you can either have the right trains and have basically no trains, or the wrong trains and have some things to look at. Looking forward to runners. Can we have a map view?
There we go. There is the
Oh wow. So what are the three northern extents of this?
So up here we have Guild. So
Be the yard, won't it?
Totem New Bank. And then up here is Nottingham. That is
AI runoff.
yeah, and then we are
Derby.
There's Derby.
So Nottingham, Derby, and does it go down? Where does it go down to?
This is where we've started from. Leicester.
Leicester. Wow. That's very interesting. That's a really interesting little network, Matt.
65 miles an hour. Lovely jubbly.
Backlund, how's Wednesday going? Not too bad. Not too bad. Busy day as always. Expect yawning shortly because I'm suddenly feeling really tired.
It's just the streams. I don't know what it is. Just
It's just literally I'll be sitting there and like, right, okay, ready to go.
Jamie Camp, shall we?
Is this the Just Trains route Leicester to Derby? Yes, I believe it is. This is Just Trains, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Whee! Nice shot. Folks, the title should indeed be Workshop Wednesday, however, it is Workshop Wednesday on Twitch and Restream and is not on YouTube for reasons of YouTube.
For your reasons of YouTube not caring, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It just.
I think it's because you quickly started the stream and stopped it when we changed the title. And when you started the stream, it treated it as resumption of the previous one.
Ah.
So it's kept the original name, I think, I'm guessing.
That's probably what it's going on. Yeah, we had a bit of a blip. I pressed the stream before then realising, actually, we haven't changed the title, have we? Yeah.
No, this is not on Workshop, Nigel. This is a new add-on that's just been released, although Jamie has customised the scenario a little bit.
All I have done is I've replaced with Matt's little trick that we shoot. I think you shoot it 8 years ago. The little trick of swapping the locos out.
Yep. It's dead easy. If you look it up on YouTube, there's a video showing how to do it. It takes 30 seconds plus load time. Evening, Bradley.
Monty Burns Wakey, if there's a video, I don't know if mods, if you got a chance to quickly look it up, put a link in, it'd be amazing.
Baked bean kid, what does that make rain? Don't answer that.
Oh no. Oh dear, that's a bad one, Baked Bean Kid.
Jack finally did a run with PCB mode M without it going horribly wrong. Awesome. Well done.
Oh Moggy, you the only one there tonight?
I think it broke everybody yesterday.
Probably did. What did you do yesterday to break them all?
Well, we talked about rush hour. No Monda, not another roadmap update. Workshop Wednesday. Is Moggy a human or an AI? Well, I'd go with A, definitely.
Good Fraser.
It's quite nice little room, this. How does a scientist freshen her breath? With experiments. Nice. Baked Bean Kid's got the joke book open. Everyone run! I will be doing Amtrak stuff on Saturday, Monty, on TS1. one of which would be NEC Washington. What we have here is a midweek peak, indeed. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, midweek peak.
Is there a Boston Providence NEC for TS1? Not that I'm aware of, Entis, certainly not officially. I don't know whether a community member might have done one independently. What train is this? This is a Class 45 Peak in BR Blue with Mark II coaches. Mark II A's, I would hazard a guess at.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I'm not sure the difference between the Mark II and different Mark IIs.
Well, they're either A's, B's. It's either I can't remember which. E's and the F's have the ones that look like HST coaches.
Yeah.
So these are either A, B, C's or D's. And D's are different in some other way. So A, B and C is most likely.
There you go. FKAs.
There you go, they're A's. Thought they were A's.
Solar panels. Hello, 47 coming the other way.
Baked Bean Kid, there was someone on Steam Workshop that was uploading bits and pieces of track, intending to model a large chunk, if not all, of the NEC. I believe that project is stalled, and he was involved in the Rush Hour Boston Providence. Rush. That's nice. That's a nice scene. I like that.
What's that? What
The way that the bricks look a bit weathered. You've got the cracks on the ground, the mountings of the supports there. Very nice.
Lovely little station there. Are you doing a ton?
It's great. As long as no red lights pop up.
Yeah.
You'd like a 313 series. Are you looking for a Japanese 313 there, Nico? Can never quite tell. Harry, you can ask anything you like. I don't promise to be able to answer it, but if I can, I will.
And that's 100 miles an hour.
So Jamie, what do you think of the MML route? Do you mean this one, or do you mean the original MML route, the London to Bedford one? I've not really seen this one. I'm seeing it for the first time now. I like what I see, and I quite enjoyed the other one as well, the London to Bedford. But they're different routes. This one is BR era, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think it's 1990s, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're currently running in 1995.
We need a train sims ticker, dude. This is not a roadmap stream. Look up a minute, Jamie.
Up.
And to the right. It doesn't say it in the cab, so it doesn't count, Jack.
What he was going to say?
He says our peak's limited to 90. It doesn't say it in the cab, it's not real.
Oh, where are we going through? Oh, it's Loughborough, I think, which is good. Is that Loughborough? It is. Look, there you go.
Very good.
So that means it's down there. Look, there you go. Great Central's down there. And we're near that. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, Brush. Oh, is that the factory that's closing?
It is, yeah. Sadly. Been to this
That's
station
a really nice
many a
model,
time.
actually. It's instantly recognisable.
Yeah. Been to this station many a time.
Not able to answer either of those questions at the moment, Harry. Oh no, where will we get rushes now? Tesco, mate. Tesco.
Yeah, I am actually speeding because the max speed of the locomotive is 90 miles an hour, so well pointed out.
Oof.
It's fine, we were just doing an experiment. Seeing if it could
Folks,
do.
don't ask if you can ask a question, just ask a question. You can all ask questions. And I promise to answer none of them. I mean some of them.
Ah, right, Crucible.
Sorry, Mr. Quick, I've obviously missed your questions. Keep post them again. Can't change the titles of a YouTube stream, Alex. Twitch should be showing the right name, though.
Yeah, Twitch is showing it, yeah.
Where is the Cathcart Circle? Glasgow, they think. Glasgow Central.
Let's do a nice passing shot, shall we? Do a nice...
I'd really like to do the Jubilee line tactic. It's always been one of the lines I like because I ride it a lot. I used to ride it all the time going to and from work. It's tricky, partly because these days it's self-driving, so it's not an awful lot of gameplay there. Why is the amount of southern routes so much higher than northern routes? It's not a conscious thing to do that, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of requests for things like London Faversham and London Brighton and so forth, so... Have I ever played something from Romania, Rolling Stock? No, I haven't, Alex, no. Chan Cool Guy, I would suggest you watch yesterday's VOD for previous stream. You will get all the gen there.
power stations now.
Do you enjoy making routes for TSW? Oh, totally. It's brilliant.
Well, no. Speed change, I was thinking. Yes.
No, we don't get southern routes because Matt loves Electrostars so much. Matt doesn't like Electrostars for very much. If it was routes that I wanted, they'd be this colour.
And if it was
Proper
my
routes
routes,
are
they'd be
diesel
Norfolk.
routes, and they are coloured blue.
And I just want routes in Norfolk.
That's nice with the MGRs rolling over there.
Good now. Donald.
Well, that's nice.
That's what fired up there.
Folks, don't ask rush hour questions tonight. I can't answer them. You'll get answers to rush hour things in the upcoming streams that happen between now and release, and the articles and the in-dev interviews and the lots and lots of content that's planned. So yeah, hang tight. You will get answers to your questions, but not tonight. Will slam door trains be coming to TSW2? There's nothing on the roadmap for that. I mean, I'd love to do that. Again, it's my kind of era, but the 101's actually a slam door train, isn't it, baby? Good shout. As are the Mark II coaches.
Yeah, Mark 1s and Mark 2s, yeah.
Yeah.
Another 47 weight. Small hoppers. As we're seriously early coming in, I thought we'd say, oh, there's a canal down there, look at that.
Ooh, nice. Again, questions on Cathcart Circle, you'll get answers to those in the Cathcart streams. Will Natalie be driving or will I be driving? I'm not sure. I suspect I'll be driving, only me. But I'll ask her and see if he wants to drive. I don't know whether she accesses the pre-release content. Of course not, bad guy. Everyone's excited and they want to know more. I can't fault them for wanting to know more and being excited.
Coming in nice and steady.
No, I can't talk about the 313. I need donuts. Again, you'll get more information on that at the appropriate time. He just said that my driving was more reliable, Baked Bean Kid. It could be he meant that my driving is reliably bad.
Oh, look at that. That's a good stop.
That is a good stop.
How many coaches have we got on? Well, yeah, that'll do. The last two will just have to walk. It's fine.
Monty Birdswakey says, Jamie, do you prefer driving steam, old-style diesels, modern EMU, or modern DMU? I'm going to place bets on the answer for this one. Jamie.
You've guessed it. It's steam. It will always be and always be. Yeah. Steam, hands down. There we go. So, doors are now shut.
What's your opinion on the West Cornwall local route scenery? I mean, I've not looked at what's being done there, but the reality is beautiful down there. Absolutely beautiful. The St Ives St Earth is considered to be the most scenic branch line in the entire of England.
Travelled on that a few times.
That's a nice shot. Some really lovely detail in this route, actually.
Yeah.
Have you guys streamed Stevens Pass recently? No, we have not. Put it on the list. We need to haul some Boeing trains.
It is on the list.
Crucible says steam or Reichbahn.
Oh, don't do that.
Nice, I like that. I like that, Crucible. It's
Don't
like
do that.
you can have one of your two favourite things.
Oh, that's the...
If I could pick one train to ride on or drive, which one would it be? In an F or an A4, wouldn't it?
Cough. Cough. Um,
Can't disconnect his call, it just disconnects me. Where's the mute button?
Stoney, there you go. You've got it in a nutshell.
Steam on the
Clear out
H
his
bar.
front, yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, that was
There you go,
close.
that solved that problem. Evaporated the cars in front of you.
Yeah.
There's a ray gun, that's what the yellow bit is. The beginning of the ray gun.
Yeah.
It's well known that that's what the yellow actually meant was on the front of a British rail.
That's what these two white lights are. There you go. Look, it's
Yeah.
the ray gun.
And the yellow is there to warn you that there's a ray gun.
Yeah.
When you guys are looking for new DLC, what sort of things do you have to consider? Too many things. Too many things. Almost every route option we come up with has to be rejected for one reason or 10. It's very difficult. Why are you driving so often in external cam? But we're here to look at the demo of the route and to show the game off a bit, not just for a hardcore cab driving experience, which is, good for immersion and playing it properly, so to speak. But a lot of people out there do like to drive the external camera, and I'm sure people would like to see the route more. Bit of variety.
Yeah, well, we'll do a little bit in the cab because there's a little bit of trees around here. So.
Zero, this is a PC game. This is Train Simulator 2021. It's only available on PC. I think you asked earlier on about iPad and so forth. It's not available on mobile, no. What do you think of the scenery? I'm loving it. There's some really nice scenery in this route. It's changing as we go along a bit as well, so it's interesting.
You're the trunking alongside as well. Signal trunking.
Northern Tribune, there's another preview stream for Hamburg-Lübeck, and you might get more answers to your questions on Hamburg-Lübeck tomorrow.
Fan on the tops whirring away.
Dynamic brakes over it. On this train, no, this train doesn't have dynamic brakes.
No,
That's a cooling fan. What you're hearing is the fan there is cooling fan just for the engine.
Yeah. I think this is one of the largest diesels we've actually built, isn't it? 45 before. 40s and things like that.
The 40s were weak. Large physically and heavy physically, but weak. The 37 outpowers a 40.
Really?
Remember rightly.
Didn't know
I'm gonna
that.
have to go and look now. Last 37. Go. Right, and our magic numbers on our Top Trumps cards are 1750 brake horsepower and a class 40. It's okay, 2000 brake horsepower. I was
Oh, you're right. Well, as we're here, I thought we'd do a little bit of history about the Class 45. So, they are the Derby Type 4, or Sulzer Type 4. So, the British Railway Class 45 were diesel locomotives built by British Derby and Crew Works between 1960 and 1962. along with a similar Class 44 and Class 46. They became known as the Peaks. There was a total of 127 produced. They have a length of 67 foot and 11 inches. They weigh 133 tons. Hello. I shall actually get that so I don't... let's see what else. Maximum speed of 90 miles an hour. There's 11 preserved, 1 stored, remainder scrapped. So sadly, not very many.
No.
And obviously there was the famous one that you see in the BR1 with the nuclear flasks.
Yep. Crash testing.
Yep. Now coming into Derby now. This will be the Derby Loco depot, won't it? Could you imagine? Nothing in there at 8. Done the new
Nothing
signals
today.
New types of signals though. Just taking a little bit more steady because we're very, very early.
Colchester bus guy, don't ask questions about rush hour. I haven't got any answers for you on rush hour stuff. You'll get more data on rush hour in the upcoming streams and articles and so forth. So you will get answers to your questions, but I don't have anything for you today. How much time does it usually take to make a route and a loco? Well, it depends how many people are working on it. And what it is, to be honest, and what else goes with it. Because, for example, if it's just a Class 45, that's one thing. If it's a Class 45, 2 different types of coaches, that's a different thing. Because coaches take quite a long time to make. But Bombardier,
Yeah.
that's not right, is it?
I don't know. That's where the Network Rail area is, I remember that. Going past here and that's where all the Network Rail locos are kept. Welcome to Derby.
Can there be a Q&A post for rush hour on the forums, please? That's something you need to ask Sam about, Hentis, not me. It's probably something that he'll set up next time we're likely to do a Q&A. Otherwise, those threads tend to just degenerate into all sorts of crazy things. So we put the Q&A threads up a couple of days before the actual Q&A, before they're going to get answered. That way they don't go silly. You're given the choice to bring back an extinct class of steam locomotive. What class would you pick? I have no idea. I have no
Sonny
idea.
Scott, you say the Claude Hamilton. Nice choice. Very, very nice choice. J50. J50.
Ooh, yes.
Because
Yes, agree.
they'd... How one never survived. Mind you, apparently there was a story once, I think it's the MGN Society who owned the B12 and the J15 at the Northern Railway. Originally a J50 was stabled at hello. Is that Matt Scott?
What?
I had a ding-a-dunk. I thought that was you.
No.
No? Oh, I panicked for a minute there. Right, there we go. So No, the J50 was stabled at Lowestoft, and they'd shunted it with the actual J15 that's preserved now. They shunted them together at the back of the road, on a back road, put a tarpaulin over the top of the piece of felt thing over the chimney, over the funnel, and so it looked as if there was something wrong with it. Basically, I think he took a couple of parts off it and stuff, basically to make it look as if there was something wrong. And it worked for a while. It worked until one day BR came round to have a look at what was happening. Went over to the J50 and he said, "What's wrong with the J50?" "Oh, it needs a part," something like that. And they went, "No, it doesn't." He said, "We're going to take it." We said we need it somewhere else, so they took it and sadly got scrapped. So if
No.
BR hadn't have gone round that day, there very likely could have been a possibility a J50 would have been saved. And I'm
Oh, that's
sure there's so many.
heartbreaking.
I know. I'm sure there's so many stories like that across the country where they were that close. The other one, talking about a Claude before I forget it, there was a Claude that was so close to being saved, it was unbelievable. The Claude ended up at the MGN Society again. It was at a scrapyard. They actually went to the scrapyard merchants, paid for the loco, and put scrapped, but only not put bought, but only on one side. So guess what
Oh
happened?
no!
Exactly. The other lot
No!
came round, scrapped it on the spot, and didn't look at the other side. And sadly, that was it. That was the last one.
Oh,
Yeah. Apparently, that's how the story goes.
makes you dislike people, doesn't it? Really.
It does. Yeah. Right. Let's see if we can get this other scenario working, shall we?
Agreed, Sonic Scott. Agreed.
Yeah. That's how close it was. And apparently the only reason why the J15 and the B12 survived at all was purely because the J15 and the B12 were left at the back of the shed, so no one could see them. Because the directors of BR would never go that far in the back of the shed. So they just kept them at the back so that they would just hide them. So they'd have all the diesels in front of them. No one would ever see they were there. And that's how they
Yeah.
survived. That's how a lot of locomotives in the steam days that weren't at Barry survived. If not, well, I don't know what to say. No, it was on this, wasn't it? Got to do that again. See if we can get this to work.
Look for gold.
Yep. Then I have to do the F2 thing, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, we'll see how this one runs. It seems to have downloaded, or the content seems to have downloaded a bit off.
Yep.
ACRL project. Basically there's a request for every railway in the world to be done. So at least 5 for each of them, probably.
There we go. Look at that.
I love the BR103. Hey British Ace, how's it going?
Oh, I've never driven one of these. Look at all the buttons.
The buttons. The buttons.
Lamp check, man.
Giving the steam guy an electric.
Yeah.
It's going to short everything out. BR103 and TSW would be beyond awesome.
Oh my god, yes, please. Anything TTE. Is it TTE?
No,
Trans Express, isn't it? I can't remember how it's pronounced.
TEE.
TEE. That's it.
TEE.
There we go.
Trans Europe Express, I think. Or something like
145 coming in. there anything else I need to switch on, or is that everything?
TTE is something else. It's little and blue has got a 1 on the side.
Yeah. Well,
This is the Konstanz-Villingen route, Baked Bean Kid. If you haven't got it, it's very, very good. Beautifully done route. There is an extension for it as well.
look at the clock at the back. Look at that. It's gorgeous.
Hey, patron, I don't quite understand the question.
Right, got the road.
Transpennine Express, no.
It's got a whistle. Hello. This has got wheel slip on it. Lovely. There's something about original electrics I just love.
Yeah, so, me too. It's I like any of the older trains. It's just a little bit more grassroots.
Like Crocs and the old... anything electric with rods, just, yeah.
Any plans to mark the 1-year anniversary of Workshop Wednesday on June the 3rd? We should think about that.
Ooh. Ooh. You make a note of that.
Find out what we did and let's do it again, but better.
June 3rd.
Or worse.
Yeah. We'll have a think about that, see what we can do. Look at this. Single line section. Oh wow, look at this.
Yeah, it's just stunning. It really is. A patron. So the way it works is you don't have to re-request the license, but all licenses require. Oh yes. All licenses require that each individual application of the license is revalidated.
Sure, I'm doing that. I'm sorry, I'm under
And that
speed.
applies for British Rail as well, Cameron.
Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. This was a very good shout, man. Very, very good. This was Matt's idea, by the way.
Scottish Train Fan says how? How what? If you have the rest of that sentence, I'll try and answer it.
Green signal, yeah, we're doing okay.
Does it have PZB? Yeah, the BR103's got PZB, but Jamie's running in noob mode.
I am.
It's the operator, but yes, a patron. Make a DB train. DB, you send DB images of it, and they say yeah or no, yes or no. Same for every operator. And quite often, like for example, when we did the TGV, it's not just a yes or no. SNCF came back with a big list of, actually, you could do these things to make it better, please. So we went through and did what they said.
I've just found out something which I didn't know happened before.
Before you say that, ACR project, this isn't a DTG route, this is a third party route. Very, very excellently done. But sorry, carry on, Jamie.
I just sort of put the brakes on and then realised I had to do that. The dynamic brake actually came on, and I realised why I was like, why are we still slowing down? And then I released that and it was fine. It was like,
How good am I with PZB? Fair to middling. I don't make a complete embarrassment of myself now when I use PZB. just a partial embarrassment.
Ooh, ooh, hello.
Those seats.
Oh, there's another one. Ooh, look at this. Travelling in style in this one. Another one, another one, another one. Got some acceleration on this.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a fast tune. It's got a high, I think it's what, 230 or something like that. High speed. It's come on now. These were the forerunners. The ICE-1 actually replaced this.
Oh right.
So these laid the groundwork for what became the ICE services.
There we go. I love just the shape of the front. How it's like that. Just that shape is lovely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean it's unique to the BR103, and it's one of the things that sort of stands it out. When you see the train, you instantly recognise the BR103. Yeah, as Cameron says, Apatron, it's about how visuals of it. But they do look more than the brand, Cameron. They will look at the shape of the train and how the livery is applied, and the proportions of the train. It's not just about the logo and the livery, although that's a key part of it. And some operators only look at that, and some of them, like SNCF, looked at absolutely every detail of the train, but they're only looking at the visual side of it. The croc should be enabled on the route. Yes, only me. Think of it like AWS. If you're approaching an adverse signal, you'll get an alarm. You cancel the alarm, and that's all there is to it.
It's very detailed. I do love. I love these as well. The combination, the throttle like that. You know. Feels very controllable.
Well, which is why they have the wheel rather than the throttle lever. Because with control over something like 30 notches, 30 taps,
yeah,
it's much easier with the turning space of 360 degrees than trying to get the precision of 30 notches into a vertical movement lever.
I'm surprising they haven't done it more often, if you see what I mean. You know, if you look at other engines.
True, but then if you look at like most UK trains, they've got what, 4 notches of power.
Yeah.
You know, it's even American diesels, they've got 8 notches of power, and these things generally tend to be digital. Whereas this had 30, so that's where things get different. Of course, then you've got the other way of doing it, like the 86s or some of the other cab cars in Germany, where you just have a a notch up and a notch down, tap up, tap down, as the other way of doing it. So no, it's interesting. It's probably one of the better ways of direct control. Only me, yes, it's one of the switches you enable on the back wall. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's one of those switches.
What switch is that?
For the crocodile on the TGV.
Oh, TGV.
You're welcome, Butter, Chris. The 86 doesn't have a wheel, no. The 86 has got a tap up, tap down. It's run down, tap down, hold, run up, tap up, run up. Yeah, same as the 87. But some German trains use that method as well. Like I said, if you get the old Virtual Railroads BR143 that's in TS1 on Steam, that comes with a cab car, an old style single deck cab car, and that uses a notch up lever as well.
Oh, that's a good stop. I'll have that, thank you very much. Lovely.
You really need an explanation how to drive the 86, Monty Burns. Well, you know what? We could do a tutorial next week, Monty, if you want. I fancy seeing a bit of 86 or 87 action.
Hmm.
Do you know how to drive the 86 or 87?
I think we drove the 87 not that long ago, didn't we?
Did
I
we?
think. Yeah. What route was it we did? Have I closed the doors there? Yes, I have. Yes, I'm fine. Lovely. I'm gonna make sure I've closed the doors. We definitely did West Coast Main Line recently.
Yeah, I don't think it was 87 though. I don't think so anyway. But anyway, we'll have a look and we'll see what we can sort out. I do have a video on my YouTube channel on the 86, how to do that. But so if you want to look in the meantime, just look at how to drive Class 86 on my YouTube channel. I've done a bunch of how to drive trains, and in most of them I don't ultimately destroy the train, which is good. So yes, it's a fun train. I like the 87 on Shat better because it has the neutral section implementation, which just makes you have to watch a little bit closer to what's going on. We need an 86 on a Freightliner in East Anglia. Yeah, a couple of Freightliner 86s hauling containers.
That'd be good. Yeah, because the 90s have taken over that now, haven't they?
Oh, long ago, yeah. 86s haven't been running for ages. I was standing on Stratford Station waiting for my train one day, and there was a because there was a regular container service went through in the mornings, and it was a pair of 86s hauling the containers, and this one day I heard this rattle going on in the distance, and what came around the corner was a 66 hauling two dead 86s hauling containers. both the cans and their pantographs down, and a shed basically on power hauling them with all its might.
That was a struggle and a half, I bet.
It was nice to see. 3 locos on the front, and that's such a rare thing to see in the UK. I don't mind whether they're working or not, but 3 locos on the front's awesome. Is lovely. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
What rush hour route are you looking forward to most? Honestly, I couldn't pick a favourite out of them. I'm looking forward to all of them running. They're just I'm hyped for all of them. I really am. I know I'm supposed to say that, and it's not a surprise that I'm saying that, but genuinely, they're all good routes. Actual Animation Studios. No, this is not Train Sim World 2 Rover. This is Workshop Wednesday, which YouTube didn't accept the name change for.
It was just like, I've had an hello on a speed change. Ooh.
Look at that scene. It just looks photorealistic. It's gorgeous. DS1 still got it. It's lovely.
I should get rid of the dynamic. It does look good, doesn't it? Especially the tilting rails. Animation Studios, if you haven't tried it before, definitely definitely get it, because he's great fun. There's so much sort of different routes and locomotives you can use. You know.
You think Sam and Adam are different today? Yeah, they've been upgraded. Oh, expect stop. BR112, we are on the Konstanz-Villingen line. Just coming into Radolfsson. Expects bad, yes, that's what double yellow means. How is that a downside, Fast? Surely having lots and lots of content is a good thing. It means it's more likely to have something that you want to drive. Somewhere that you want to drive it. Mark Tanner, anything is potentially possible. It's whether or not it makes sense to do so. And makes sense is all sorts of different characteristics and qualities. But anything's possible. I want it all. Okay, Dirtfirst, I get you. I totally get you. Yellow signals make me instinctively reach for page down. Yeah, me too. Even sitting here like this, came across that double yellow and my hands were like moving to the page down button.
Listen to the British ace. Fish fingers and chips and Workshop Wednesday on the big TV. What could be better? Well, I must admit, that's quite impressive.
Fish fingers and custard. Workshop Wednesday on the big TV.
Just lovely. Look at that. Let's get a shot of this departing, shall we?
It's being the senior producer at TSW2 rewarding and challenging. Oh, incredibly. Incredibly. I get to work with some of the best people in the industry. No, it's really good. It's really good. It's like I've gone from this being my hobby and you know, buying content and playing train sim stuff to you know, working with the team that makes this stuff. It's phenomenal.
Look at that. Oh, the lake. You can actually hear the lake as well. Oh, this is brilliant. I can hear ambulances and police cars, the water. God, the sounds in this are amazing. Love this.
BR218 is probably one of my first European locos. One of my first locos of that scale at all, but certainly I have one of those. NT livery, if I remember rightly.
Oh, we've got the right away. Release the brakes. Make sure the dynamic brake is off. You see, this has actually got a dynamic brake. This is pretty cool. Right, shall we head off?
But be aware that you are following another train.
Will do.
Hence the double yellow light. It is indeed Workshop Wednesday, BR112. Ignore the title on YouTube.
Acceleration on this thing. Just put it into full power because I was like, what is, how fast is this acceleration?
Soup all over the floor.
Yeah. And I'm speeding. It's because I just wanted to try something.
Remember the next signal was red, yeah?
Yeah, I will.
Do you have a, would you have like to have one right now? So I don't have room for one, but I have got bits and pieces. I've got a couple of boxes of N gauge, and a couple of boxes of G gauge behind me. But my dad's got a model railway, and that's I go and use that model railway. You can see videos on that One House Model Railway on YouTube. And Jamie, you've got your own model railway as well. In fact, weren't you in a magazine recently?
Magazine? No, I was. Oh, I was in a. Hornby had me recently on their Facebook page.
Okay, that's where it was.
Yeah, that was quite cool.
I knew that you'd had 5 minutes of fame there.
Yeah. Which was pretty awesome. So, yeah, if you saw the post of a B12 or J15, I think the rocket was in there as well. Rocket. So there's quite a few. That's right. Whoopsie. Never mind.
Dear oh dear.
Yeah, we are. We're a bit quick.
You know, you get them out of a tractor and they go all crazy.
Should we do some not jumping, shall
I think all trains should go bing bong when you come to a red light, yeah.
we? Bing bong! Right, let's notch this up. Here we go.
I was just doing recording a VO today for 2 or 3 bits. Saying the same lines over and over and over again. It's fun.
It is fun. I must say, I've done voice acting and it isn't easy. And sometimes you put a different pitch on it just to see if it works any better.
Yeah. These days I tend to just play it the same way I did the last one because I've done 15 or so add-ons now, so I just how is my Boston accent for the MBTA? And I've opted to not go for accents. You're welcome.
We'll go another gradient now.
Why don't you have C for PZB or LZB active? Because noob. Muzzy-Rail, a question for Jamie. On screenshot competitions, why is there a limit for what the screen resolution is? I think that's really unfair because not everyone will have 1080p screens, or their monitors may not even be able to handle that resolution.
Yes. Now, the reason all that be is for it going, because obviously it goes as the loading screen. I think that's the reason why.
Yes, that'll be why. Because
Yeah.
if it was less than 1080p, it would look horrible by the time it arrived on the loading screen,
Yeah.
all stretched out of shape.
Yeah, that'll be why.
It's because the prize is that it gets onto the loading screen,
Yeah.
and to do that must be a 1080p shot.
No, we're right. 4 kilometres. That's singing industrial. That's not what we want. We're fine.
What are the difference between SW and Train Simulators? From the same makers? Yes, they're both from Dovetail Games, both from us. One is a Train Sim World is much newer and is built on Unreal Engine, is on consoles as well as PC, has a real full 24-hour timetable simulation, and you can get out and walk around the train and climb on and off and all the rest of it. But fundamentally, they're both train driving games. This is Train Simulator 2021, which is the older one. Is LZB simulated on this one? I don't know for sure. Jonathan, I want to say yes, but I don't know for sure.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're getting a... Hang on. Should get... Oh, hello. Where's my camera gone? There it is.
Time you figured the camera out, well, I missed it.
Hey, look at that. Lovely. And now actually put the brakes on to make sure we actually do stop.
It's amazing. Now put the brakes on really, really hard.
Are we going to make the 70? Are we going to make the 70? Are we going to make... Yes, we're going to make the 70s.
You basically dumped the brakes.
Yeah. Used all the brakes. Let him catch up a little bit.
He stopped at a red light behind you, hopefully.
No, he's still coming.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw a red light there. Is Rush Hour coming to Xbox One? Joseph, read the FAQ. You should be able to read that it is.
Well, this is a bit of fun. Look at this.
Jonathan, watch the stream from yesterday. It was mentioned on the stream yesterday at the end. Fantastic, isn't it, Daytona? It's a really good scenario, this.
Did you want to send the link to the mod so they can put it in the chat?
Yes, I will. In the mod chat. Chat mods. I was going to send payment, Moggy, but I had your ice lolly for my dessert after dinner, so... Soz.
For us to go, isn't he? Yeah.
Ross played TSW2 on your Series S for the first time today. Quite a contrast from an original Xbox One. Oh yeah. Yeah, because you're going to be running at 60 FPS on a Series S. Makes a big difference.
All grills and everything was brilliant. Makes me want one in model form now, this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is just something about it, isn't there? Because they did it in multiple liveries as well, didn't they? Is there any of these preserved? I don't even know if they run. If there's any of these preserved. I'll have to bring up the history in a minute.
Is that a 150, 151 over there? 151?
Yeah. We've got the guard's whistle. Make sure the dynamic brake is off.
Daniel, ask your questions about Rush Hour in Rush Hour streams. You'll get your answers better in those.
What class is this again?
BR 103.
There we go. Right, so, and let me actually speed up a bit.
Limit.
Bring the amps down, quick, quick, quick! Nearly. Put too many amps on. Whoopsie daisy.
Overamped that.
Yeah. So, where are we? Yeah, here we go. So, prototype was in 1965, and the production was between 1970 and 1973. There was four of the prototype and 145. It's 48 minutes because I'm trying to read and play the sim at the same time.
Can't make excuses.
There was 145 of the production. So the actual production one weighed slightly more than the prototype. They have 6 traction motors. They have air brakes, CFA and LZB safety systems. So maximum speed. Now this is interesting. It's got 3 maximum speeds, and I think it depends on which number it is. So I think the maximum speed is about 124 miles an hour, or 200 kilometers an hour. 13118 did a top speed of 165 miles an hour, which is 265 kilometers an hour. And 103003 and 222 did 174, which is 280 kilometers an hour. And they were all withdrawn in 2003.
Monty, one thing apologies about here, sometimes there's no warning of a line speed change. In a lot of cases, those warnings of line speed changes you're not seeing are because the signals are telling you them. So PZB line speed changes don't show up on the HUD. So for example, if you go through a signal and that signal's got a green yellow, then it will drop to 40 on the HUD potentially, depending on what the other situation's going on. So you do need to watch the signals, as signals on certainly in German routes will tell you what the speed limits are, what speed limits to expect, and so forth. It's not all on the HUD.
Also, turns out 17 of the 103s have been preserved. 5 are still operational. 2 units are still part of the DB rolling stock and frequently used for test runs. The highest operational performance of one unit was reached in 1972. June 1972 with 50,250 kilometres or 31,000 miles.
Yeah, you probably passed a green-yellow warning sign, Entis, which is your warning of an upcoming 40 kilometres an hour. You would then have about a kilometre to slow down to 40.
You have to keep an eye on your amps on this, it's really good. Well, there's castle.
They like the castles over in Germany.
They do indeed. Blimey, 60 kilometres? Huh? Well,
the good news is only one stop left.
yep.
Of course, the other challenge with Razor Dresden is you've got HL signals, which are slightly different. So you need to make sure you've read up and learned your HL signals as well.
There's one single green on this one now.
Yeah, Dresden is HL, I think, in the Dresden area, and then KS, which is the more modern combined signal, on the rest of the route.
So we are currently here. This shows you the full route map. We're actually doing the full route.
Why is Dresden Region TSW2 longer than TS 2021? Is that a complaint? Just because it is. Wanted to include the branches, but let's file that under ask that question in a rush hour stream. Cherry Blossom, what are we doing? We are driving a BR103 on Constance-Verlingen and chatting to you fine folk. No, HL is it's like a variation on the German signals British Chase, but it adds a whole bunch of extra aspects to try and remember.
Oh, hello, we're getting to the heavy grades now.
Baked Bean Kid, look up the touristic with the spelled with a K at the end version of the BR103. That's my favourite. I think it looks awesome. Don't think it's in the game though.
Monty Burns, Wakey? No, I haven't actually. Lovely container train. Heavy gradient again. Should we've got to be slowing down anyway. Got an 80 coming up.
So someone's graffiti now.
What was that?
Oh, I like the touristic one. It's bright, colourful.
Don't panic, I've already seen the 80 restriction.
None of us are panicking. We're only worried that you saw the 80 restriction. We were expecting some fun.
Oh dear.
Green with green, so you're good for line speed. Gamer, yes, this is the VR103 from Virtual Railroads. Quite an old add-on now. Still good fun though. Why isn't the lamp on in your background? Oh, do you mean Jamie's?
Soon solved. Now it's on. Question is, chat, do you want it in white or in red? Because I can change it. Moggy wants it in red. Monty Burns wants it red. Trods wants it red. Sonic Scott wants it red. I think there's a thing there to say
It's
they
a
want
fairly serious trend there.
Yeah.
Either that or they're all telling you that the next signal is red.
Right, let's change it to red then. There we go.
See, that's my kind of colour, DD. Unfortunately, the lamp is flawed. It can't do that colour.
Although it is a French lamp, though.
Yeah, but it's not a French ground signal.
I know.
Impressive route scenario and lamp. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, the lamp is actually not its original colours, so this was this has been sort of, they're normally brown, but they've sort of made it, burnished it up and made it look nice. So hence why it's in the grey. But it fit with a little LED, so it's got a plug socket. You can see the lead coming down. Got a plug socket in rather than using a battery or a wick.
So it's my cab lamp. All my lights are on. In fact, normally I switch off the middle one. Let me just switch off the middle one a bit. Just balance the picture a bit. Fires up phone. It's all done electronically these days. A bit of hue. Studio lights. And
No voice control on Jamie's lamp vintage, lol. No. No voice control.
apparently I've not plugged it in. Haha! Well.
Ooh, look at that. You see that, Matt? Look at this.
What?
It's got a
Standy up view.
Standy up. And then it does this. Look at this. Watch. That's pretty cool. I like that. Keep on that view, shall we? That's better. Let's see where we're going now. I had a great JEP shunt signal. I was going to use it as a garden lightning on him, but he got nicked. How did he get nicked? Well, obviously that's a bit obvious, but yeah.
That's bad news.
That is awful.
Bob Monkey, you just got a message. My wife is saying stop changing the light colours in the kitchen. You see, the problem there, Monkey, is if the light colours were changing in the kitchen, you probably ought to call the fire brigade. Because they're just plain white bulbs out there. Now, if you'd said the kids were shouting stop changing a light bulb, then that would just have encouraged me to keep going. I used to do that. I found that really funny, and then they did it to me once, and I realised that probably I shouldn't do that.
FixPix 102. YouTube decided that it didn't. Well, we misstarted the stream, then changed the titles, so the titles didn't change as they should have done, but it is correct on Twitch.
You have the route, not the loco. This is a scenario we downloaded from Steam Workshop, Nigel. It's called Rheingold Constance Verlingen. By some awesome chap by the name of Matt, not me.
Sorry, Matt, but we didn't get the 648 in, so I thought I'd had it installed, but it decided otherwise.
Failed.
So where are we? Oh, we're on the twisty, turny bits.
That's the technical term.
Technical term. Yeah, that is the very, very technical term.
Yeah, BR103 is a nice loco. There's quite a lot of scenarios actually for it. We were looking at a bunch of different stuff today for what we were going to run.
Yeah. Very last minute, wasn't it?
Which is why we're late, because the idea was, one of the things that came up on the last stream was to put Jamie through his paces with the Clear Creek logging, but that appears to be having some problems, so Jamie's got to reinstall that.
Yeah. He was having an iffy moment, so it was last minute looking to find and see what we can run, and we came up with this, and I'm very, very impressed. I thought he's awesome. Hello, what's tunnel coming up now?
That was a warning for an 80 limit, by the way.
Yeah, I can see the 80 limit coming up. We're already at 80 pretty much anyway, which is quite good.
No, it's a country route, mate, being good. It's not a fast one.
Oh, look at this. Semaphores.
Semaphores.
Can't be a good old semaphore. Now we've got the fun of coming downhill, man. Lovely tall semaphore there, look at that. I do find the German semaphores interesting. They're certainly different, aren't they?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. A bit more try and interpret, but actually you can see the colours underneath, whether you're getting like a green or a green-yellow or a yellow-yellow essentially. So you can kind of figure out, if as long as you know what the colour lights are, you can kind of figure out what these are trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Until you get more familiar with them and just recognise the actual blades themselves.
Time to use the dynamic brake. Here we go.
Gem Q is your safety system reset. So like AWS acknowledge or alerter acknowledge, C for acknowledge, all that sort of thing. Daniel, you'll have to bring your rush hour questions to our rush hour stream, please. Utah Rail fan, no, this is indeed not a roadmap stream. This is a workshop Wednesday, and it's a workshop Wednesday with extra added Twitch not being cooperative.
YouTube being not cooperative. Twitch was cooperative.
Oh, did I say that? Twitch has been awesome, and
Yeah.
YouTube is being less awesome.
Look at this. I'm actually using the dynamic brake on this, so this is different.
Here comes the yawns.
Oh dear. It's bedtime, past your bedtime now.
Oh, must I guess? Was this a DTG route originally? No. No, but being kid, this was always a third-party route. I don't think DTG had ever made a route like this route either themselves. What is DSD? Driver safety device. It's the equivalent of the alerter. It's the alarm that goes off every 30 seconds, Jim.
Alright, there goes the gradient down, so we can now push that back, speed up a little bit so we can get up to the 80.
Immendingen.
And we get 130 kilometres an hour then. Immendingen, if I've pronounced that right.
HFC, I wouldn't worry. Wait until you see screenshots and judge the screenshots rather than just worrying about something without any reason to worry about it. No, John, am I getting bored? No, I'm not getting bored. I always enjoy it. But I'm also a bit tired. I don't know quite why, but I'm always tired on a Wednesday evening.
It always seems to happen just before you're about to stream as well.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we press the stop button, I'll be like, yes, and what can we do now?
You sure it's not because of me?
Trying to be polite, John. Yes, Hamburg Lübeck previous stream number 2 tomorrow for those of you who are interested in that. See you later, ACR project. Jim, yes, you will need to. DSD is something you turn on warnings. All safety systems work based on them being switched on. They're all off by default, on the basis that if you know how to turn them, if you know how to use them, you know how to turn them on. But if you don't know how to use them, you probably don't know how to turn them off. Danny says the tactile barn is just on the left somewhere soon. Although it isn't on the route, you recognise the last station.
Sorry, the wood. Which barn?
The tactile barn. This is another route in TS.
Is that the steam?
Geographically, yeah, it's steam. The BR86.
Ah, so this is actually where I've been then, because I've actually been. Was that? I recognise the name of that station we've just been through because I think Immendingen. I'm sure I've been there. Sorry, that's going to be me. If we can get that far back. Oh, we can't. No, not really. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I recognise it now. Yeah, I've been there.
Why can't you hear safety systems from the outside in TS? You know, I don't have a good answer for that. I've been saying that we should be able to do that for a long time, and there was a lot of resistance to that idea because of the view that one of the arguments for not making them audible externally was, well, you wouldn't hear them externally in reality. To which my response is, neither am I Superman flying along the side of the train in reality. So hence in TSW, I made sure the team made it to where external sounds are audible externally, and you can turn it off if you want to be Superman that can't hear the audio inside the cabin.
Yeah, for the what was barn? Was it Wirtshall barn? That's I've actually been on there. Steam services along there. I have actually been on. So part of Germany, I have done.
Yes, Black Forest is a lovely route. TV spotter, isn't it? This route you're showing now, is it on the roadmap for rush hour? No. This is a TS1 route, Derek.
So we're obviously getting near the Swiss border now, aren't we?
Moggy and Baby Kid want a button to mute my microphone. What? What's the difference between a semaphore and a signal for trains? Semaphores are a signal for trains. They're just a physical one based on an arm that moves up and down versus a conventional colour light signal or a modern colour light signal where it uses colours to indicate to the driver. But they're both doing exactly the same thing, just in different ways. What kind of questions are we supposed to ask? What kind of questions are we allowed to ask in this workshop Wednesday stream? Well, you can pretty much You can ask, like what I suggested is questions about how to play the game, or how favorite add-ons and that kind of thing. If it's about upcoming content, then it needs to be in a relevant place for those things, particularly Russia, because there's a lot to talk about. But we need to do that at the right time, when there's stuff to, in the right place, when there's stuff to show and talk about actually sensibly. And we always talk about routes like upcoming routes like Cathcart and so forth in their upcoming streams. So essentially, I mean, the only topics, I say only in quotes, are that are really sort of off limits are the ones about upcoming content, because they'll be covered at the right time.
Just ask if you want to ask us railway questions. Locomotive, questions. You're more than welcome to as well. We have a lot.
What is Matt's favourite pizza? Of course, you can ask that question. Derek Knowles, this is the Constance-Villingen line.
Oh, question. I have a chat. Who has seen the new Bachmann announcements, summer announcements today? Who stayed up? I watched it early this morning.
Flashing double amber is probably an approach control, probably due to a divergent path. So you should be treating it as if you are approaching a red light, decelerating, and either you will approach a red light, which will then pop back up to a yellow or green, or it'll pop back up to the yellow or green as you approach it, depending on how slow you're going. Normally a double flashing yellow is a slowdown, you're probably diverging.
Henderson, Baby and Kid, it was Bachmann model trains in the UK. Just had their summer announcements. And they've just announced what they're going to release in the next few months, I think. Some of the stuff is very, very interesting. Including something that I was rather interested in getting was a London Transport Class 20.
Oh, one of Needles?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one is it?
They're doing both.
They're doing both?
They're doing both.
Ooh, that's tempting.
And if you're part of the Collectors Club, they're doing 160 of them sound fitted. Oh no! That's too dangerous. Yeah, so they're doing both Sherlock Holmes and John Betjeman to run them in a pair.
When do you decide the routes for the next version of Train Simulator, and will you be adding routes on sale at present, or will there be new routes? Those decisions are taken, at the time of what's appropriate. Train Sim World is new routes. I have no idea what plans there may be going on for Train Simulator, or if there are plans for it. So again, at the appropriate time, there'll be announcements about plans for Train Simulator. I don't really get to spend a lot of time with the Train Simulator team these days. I'm too busy with Train Sim World.
Atomic Danny, yes, I did see the toilet block. Are you thinking of getting one? Yeah, Batman Seeing Craft, they did announce that they're going to do a toilet block, which I thought was quite funny. And they said it would be perfect for, and I was just like, oh my word, I was like, that would be quite funny to have on the layout. It's a random toilet block. We've got a 30 limit coming up.
How does tractive effort work? So you've got power and you've got weight. The reason you have a heavy loco, so locos are not just heavy because they're naturally heavy because of the equipment on them. Sometimes they ballast the loco to make it heavier. The reason for a heavy loco is, let's say you've got a loco which can has unlimited power. But let's say it was paper light. It doesn't matter, therefore, that it's got unlimited power, because what will happen is it's going to grip on the rails, and the minute you put any sort of weight behind it, it'll just spin its wheels. Therefore, a really heavy loco with modest power might end up with more pulling power than a more powerful light loco. which is why generally you've got faster trains that don't need lots of pulling power are generally quite high power and quite low weight, because they want to go fast efficiently without having to, all that extra power, that weight. Whereas a freight train, you look at something like that BR151 that was earlier on in this journey, that's a seriously heavy loco. And it's because it's a triple axle, which means more points of grip on the rails. So a Coco will grip better than a Bobo, essentially. But equally, if you've got the same weight on a Bobo versus a Coco, the Bobo is more effective because the weight is spread over 4 contact points rather than 6. Yeah, so it divides it out, so the weight on each axle is less. So if you have triple axle versus a double axle, you have to increase the weight to balance it all out. Hence, one of the key differences in America between a GP38 and an SD40 is the GP38 is a Bobo, and it's got I can't remember what its weight is. The SD40 has more weight, but if you actually look at what the weight is on the axle, divide it out, you'll find it is exactly the same. There's no accident. It's done specifically that way, so that the weight on each axle is exactly the same. So they ballasted the loco so that having added the extra points of grip with the extra 2 axles, they've still got the same amount of weight being put down on each axle. Otherwise, you'd have a slippy loco. I mean, a good example of that in model railway terms is we've got a model of is it P2? What was Cock of the North?
P2, yeah.
P2. So we got a Backman model of a P2, which has got, is it Hornby's one? Yeah, Hornby's one. And it's got, there is such a thing as a Boco, Bradley. Or it's actually called a Kobo, but so it's got 4 big driving axles, but they haven't increased the weight of the loco. Which means that actually it could pull the skin off rice pudding. You put the coaches that an equivalent 3-axle main driver could pull, the 4-axle main driver can't. And you'd expect actually, surely with 4 big wheels, it should do more. But because they didn't increase the weight of the loco, it doesn't do as much. Yeah, Class 40 is a 1 Coco 1 because the 2 outer wheels are not driven; they're just trailing wheels. They just float freely. Then you've got something like a Class 31, which is an A1A, A1A, because each outer axle on the bogie of 3 axles is driven, and the centre one is loose running. Kobo was a Class 28. The FL9, I think, is a Kobo as well, because the rear of that one is a triple axle. The front of it is a double axle. They don't always call them Kobos. There's also, I think if they're coupled with external connecting rods, they use B rightly for a bow and C for a co. So it'd be a BB, which for example would be 2 sets of coupled axles, something like that. Roy Anderson, can you play this on Xbox? Nope. This is PC only. Trains in World you can play, but this is Trains in World. The Merseyrail, it's not that it was in production for a long time. It's part of the confusion with announcing these are the plans for things that are going to be done such a long way in advance, as everyone thinks that everything is being worked on from day one. And actually that was just the plan of stuff to get to, so it wasn't all being worked on from day one when it was announced. And I think that's what's caused a lot of confusion, which is why Sam's changed things, I think, or one of the reasons Sam's changed things. GP38 weighs £250,000, SD40 weighs £368,000, and if you divide that, it's something like £60,000 per axle, something like that. I think, something like that, off the top of my head. Divide 250 by 4 and divide 368 by 6. Sorry, I think you get the same number. What would a pacer be? AA.
but very, very light.
What's the best way to cut screen tear? Well, you need to balance the. If you, I mean, your 120 hertz monitor is no good if you can't get 120 FPS. So if your system is not giving you 120 FPS, you're not getting any benefit from it. At that point, your monitor will cut down to 60 FPS. So you then, or 60 hertz, which means you need to be making sure you're hitting 60 FPS constantly. So you need to adjust your settings so that you get 60 FPS constantly, or above 60 FPS. Put a frame rate limiter on it, told it's about 61, 62, and that's interesting. And then you should be able to maintain a solid FPS. So hertz and FPS need to be kept in line. If you're not getting 120 FPS, you're not going to get 120 hertz. And that's where you'll get screen tear. Screen tear is caused by it redrawing. So the screen is drawing, and the game is redrawing. And if they're not in sync, you end up with them, it rendering half of one scene and half of a different scene, and that's where you get screen tear. It has G-Sync. I don't know. Actually, I don't know anything about G-Sync development. I've never used a system with it, so. If he shouldn't get screen tear, he shouldn't get screen tear. I don't know. I don't think Train Sim specifically does anything to support G-Sync. There is a V-Sync option in there. Maybe you just need to turn V-Sync on. Will that link it up with G-Sync?
I'm not sure.
The problem with V-Sync is that V-Sync is the one that will lock your frame rate. It's either 120, 60, 30, and it halves it every time. Until it's the same frame rate, which is why if you've got you normally would get 55 FPS. You put VSync on, you're locked at 30, and that's why. It's because VSync is knocking you down to 30, and you can't because you're not getting 60. But yeah, I know what G-Sync is, but I don't know whether the game needs to do anything to make it use it. Clearly it does. No, that's NSync. That's NSync. That's different. You'd think Nvidia would do NSync, but maybe they didn't want to get involved in that. So you need to turn. Okay, if you turned on VSync, then Chief Longship, maybe turning VSync on is what you need. There you go, 613 per axle on the SD40 and 625 for GP38. So yeah, pretty close.
Coming into our last stop. And a minute early.
But it's actual hardware. Okay, so you just need to make sure that VSync is turned on then, presumably to synchronize it, which you presumably do in the Nvidia settings. The other thing is if you've got two monitors, that'll confuse it if they're not identical, because it will sync up with one. So when for example, I used to do back in the day when we were allowed in the office, I used to have my laptop hooked up to a big screen on the wall, and I'd do a demo, and it would tear like heck. And I tried to work out what it was, and eventually it turned out that Windows or the drivers were using my laptop screen as the sync, even though the game was on the monitor. So I had to actually switch off or re-switch over the main screen, the external one, to be the main screen, so that the sync pulse was taken from the external one, and that then cured the screen tearing when I was demoing. I couldn't live with one monitor, Chief Longship. Oh dear, oh dear. Anything less than 4 is just painful.
And there we are, we're in. Look at that.
Lovely, a beautiful run, really nice. I haven't seen that route again in ages. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. I remembered enjoying it when I did it last time. There's some really nice scenarios that come with it as well.
There we go. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. So sorry about the confusion and starting a little bit late, but we got there in the end. I thought we did
Yeah.
a nice long one.
Very good. Okay then, folks. Well, that was the Midland Main Line, new from Just Trains on Steam.
Yeah.
And with the 45, and then we've got the BR103 with the scenario Rheingold Konstanz-Villingen on Steam Workshop on the Konstanz-Villingen route. All right, folks. I think that's it from us for tonight. So thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
And join myself and Natalie tomorrow as we have another look at Hamburg-Lübeck and try and answer some more of your questions. All right, folks.
Lovely. Perfect.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
See you soon. See you all.